suddenly this one kid, he got up and he said, Didi, is it cheating teamwork? Because we're doing it together in an exam and we are all passing the exam. So isn't it teamwork? And for some time I was really uh, I was questioning myself of what to say now.
de under in of onward and it is much better to the on involved to learn about the real group involvement for my work for is what is the real group involvement for
Okay. So the Junior Youth Empowerment Program, I'll tell you what I know about it. I was a student of this one school in City Montessori School. And according to that, the Junior Youth Empowerment Program is a community service which is adopted in the school. And what we do in the program is that the senior students, they come down to their juniors. Of course, we have to go through a training session before interacting with our juniors. And then we try to study some material together. And we try to read the reality of our surroundings. And what it means is that we try to study some text together, and then we come up with service projects. And service projects are the solution to some of the problems that we see around. So this is the CMS version, City Montessori School version of Junior Youth Program. The neighborhood, the real reality of the Junior Youth Program is it's actually a community service, a neighborhood program in which I collect a group of students from 12 to 15, and then I study some text with them. I read the reality of my surroundings, of my community, and then together we come up with some solutions for the betterment of that entire community so that we grow together.
how they will get involved to be a part of the real group involvement for
I like that question. So I said it in the beginning. For me, it was since I was a student of CMS, it was introduced to our school. And to be honest, I started being the part of the program because all my friends were there. But then later on, somehow they all drifted apart. But I realized that in the program, we're often talking about things that we don't normally get time to talk about. Like, for example, we all know that backbiting, for example, is not good. But we're not talking about it. We're not actually thinking about how to solve that problem in our classrooms, in our realities. So here we were actually talking about these problems, and we were not stopping at pinpointing and blaming each other. We were thinking of how to come up with solutions to that. So I think that is one thing that helped me stay connected to the program. And then another thing is that always throughout these years, I have met some amazing people in the junior youth program. And that's what keeps me inspired to be here because I look up to these people for everything, for everything.
since you were a real group and and so any quality in the bird. And so we all be little part and the more than and you
Ah, okay. So when I was in school, I was an animator. That was, I think each of them is challenging in their own way and exciting in their own way too. When I was in my school, when I was an animator for a group of 15 junior youth, that was challenging because I didn't know what to do most of the time. But then there were friends around, and we could always watch them and learn how to do things. It became exciting when I created a bond with these junior youth, and then it continued for years. That's when it became very exciting and very engaging for me. When I volunteered in the campus, that was the easiest part. That was the most fun, I think. I mean, not so much of a responsibility. It's all being with the junior youth, being with the animators, helping the animators prepare for their reflection meetings for their classes. That was the most easy part, I would say. Then, when I was the coordinator in one of the campuses, that is when I realized that oh, you have to do things. Because before that, I was always told what to do, and then we would manage to do it somehow. But then when I was the coordinator, I had to plan things out. I had to work out which classes, where, and managing small things like where the sessions are going to take place, to big things like how we're going to manage a group of junior youth, how we are going to train the animators. So yes, being the coordinator, I think that was the most challenging and exciting part.
be about the book.
Okay. So in the basic level, we have breezes of confirmation, and this book is about finding that confirmation of God when we are making efforts on doing what is right and what is wrong. We always make efforts, and then we wait for God's confirmation to give us the little push to make a decision. And the second book is Glimmerings of Hope, which talks a lot about the choices we make in our life. And the third book in the series is Walking the Straight Path. And this one is a beautiful book. It has 20 stories, and each of these stories has a different central theme, a different concept that they talk about. And often these stories, we've already heard them in our childhood, but then the concept that they're talking about in Walking the Straight Path, it's really different than the ones that we have studied so far. Like, for example, the story of the fox and crow. when we when we read that in our childhood, we were always told that see, the fox is so clever, all of us should be like the fox, and this and that. And then when we study it in the junior youth textbook, as a junior youth textbook, we read it as how wise are not fooled by flattery. So the concept completely shifts to making wise decisions, having the wisdom to think about things. There are other books too. It's one of them is Drawing on Power of the Word, which talks at length about the use of words, the literature around us. Then there's this amazing book called Habits of an Orderly Mind, which I find very difficult to understand. It's about it's about finding patterns in chaos. It's a really beautiful book. Then there's Learning About Excellence, Human Temple, and I have a junior youth group going on right now, and we are studying this book. It's called Power of the Holy Spirit. And this one talks about the various manifestations of God and whatever they have tried to teach us so far in their holy texts, and how they brought about some contribution in the betterment of the world and changing the society and bringing about some, getting the civilization forward.
Would be higher some example of of the and the dream.
I'll have to think. So this one time we were in a class and we were talking about some concepts, and this is a junior youth group, okay? And we were talking about cheating, right? And then suddenly this one kid, he got up and he said, Didi, is it cheating teamwork? Because we're doing it together in an exam and we are all passing the exam. So isn't it teamwork? And for some time I was really uh, I was questioning myself of what to say now. And then somehow the discussion came forward that cheating cannot be teamwork because it's unfair. It's not something that comes out of truthfulness. So that was one funny experience that I've had so far.
In the JYEP for the whole human or it is for it
No, no. So in CMS, the junior youth program for junior section, which is the students in class 6, 7th, and 8th, all of them have this as their regular subject. And for senior section, which is class 9, 10th, 11th, and 12th, the ones who become animators, it's a voluntary program. So when I volunteered, when I was going to class 9, I was given a 10-day training session to become an animator. But then this is voluntary. CMS doesn't ask students to compulsorily attend the program. It's a voluntary decision of the students. They can come as and when, but they have to attend the training session.
is not human is done the JYEP.
Of course, yes. So right now I'm coming from a neighborhood near where I live, and JYP is a neighborhood program. It's a community service program. So this is the real essence of JYP. How we started studying some text together. It's a neighborhood. These are not the students of CMS. This is just neighbors. We started studying some books together, and now they have the, the the junior youth group that I had. Now they are animators of another junior youth group of the same locality. So this is how it's growing.
It made me enjoy the program online.
Can we join the programs online? Sometimes we have some study sessions going around in which maybe we could participate online. But most of the sessions in school, they are conducted with, in offline mode, in person actually. Online sessions are one of the service projects in my campus of CMS. What's happening there is that the animators, they're conducting tutorials, and tutorials are like, for example, if someone has a test tomorrow or an exam, So the animators, they revise the same subject with their juniors. That happens online, I think, on a regular basis. But the junior youth sessions, they are offline.
Do you go in the JYEP?
I don't think so. It's the program in itself is something in which we are all learning. So if we are trying things out, we are correcting ourselves constantly. We're trying to make things work. So it's not something that's a fixed thing. It's always evolving. People are always learning from each other. So anytime anyone suggests something, and if everybody thinks that yes, this is a valid point, then we all learn from that and we do that.
What are the for the pain of the dream in the edu
Hmm. So recently, in Gomti Nagar campus of CMS, we had this open day in which the parents of the animators, the new batch of animators, they were invited to let them know what the kids do in the junior youth program, what the animators are doing in the junior youth program. So I think this is something that happens in most of the campuses of CMS, and what it does is that now when the parents know what is happening with the junior youth program and why these kids are engaged in doing things other than their academics, they understand that education is not just book learning, it's more than that. And then they're more supportive of the program, they're more supportive of their child being a part of the program. So this is something that we're doing for the parents, with the parents.
about for me for the
Oh, yeah. Ooh, conferences are my favorite part, trust me. So, animator conferences are gatherings where, so CMS has around 20 campuses. And among these 20 campuses, I think in most of them, the junior youth program is running. So, individually, the campuses have their own reflection meetings, they have their own junior youth sessions. But in animator conference, all of these animators from different campuses, they all come together. They study some material together in smaller groups, of course. And then they do arts, they do music, they do all sorts of things to create fun and learning environment. And then that is what we call the animators conference. It's a full day program. We end it with a lot of energy, even though it's a full day of study. But it's always the most amazing experience in every animators conference.
would like about the even very boy or me.
Yes. So in my campus, in Gomti Nagar campus 1, our seniors, the senior batch of animators, which was also the first year of JYP in CMS, this batch of animators, they thought of, they did some research and they came up with the fact that, plastic bottles, they cannot, we cannot do anything with them. And then when they did a little more research, they realized that maybe we could, there was this institute, I think, from where they could not recycle exactly, but kind of recycle them and make artificial limbs for people who have lost their arms or legs. So this was one project. We engaged the entire school in it. We had made bottle bins and placed them in the entire campus, and we asked for plastic bottles from all the students. So there were like 5,000 students in our campus, and we collected so many plastic bottles that we had to create an entire room of to collect those plastic bottles, because those bins would get filled every day, and we had to engage some staff and all the animators to collect those bottle bins and put it in that room where we can store the bottles.
Mm.
Although it didn't go so well, we later realized that it doesn't really happen. the We can't use plastic bottles to make artificial limbs. But then I think that money was we somehow managed to use that those plastic bottles somehow. I don't exactly remember, but yeah, it did come to an end. We called it Bottles for Charity. That service project was named Bottles for Charity, BFC.
Before we wrap up our interview, I am curious about your experience of the IU and we have been never by my brother Arun and Anand.
Oh, I think it's really accessible because I could really understand everything that you're saying in real time and I could respond to it properly. And I think I like this I Hear You app. It's a great initiative. I really like the efforts of your brothers.
It was a pleasure of Unu.
It was a pleasure for me too. Thank you. Thank you for letting me come here.
Bye for now.
Bye bye. See you.